Good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to our event, How AI Can Help Retail Industry to Earn More and Compete with Online. My name is Lyubov. I'm Marketing Manager at NNTC. And right before we move forward, let's check if everyone can see and hear me well. If you don't mind, please drop a plus sign to the chat so that I know that everything is all right. Okay. Okay, that's great. Thank you so much. All right, so today we will have 3 sessions, 30 minutes each. After each session, we will be answering your questions. Please feel free to drop your question at any point of time to chat box. Just don't forget to address it to all panelists and attendees, or Q&A. We can move on to our first session, 5 ways to grow the revenue of your retail store with AI machine vision. And I would like to welcome our first speakers, Dmitry, General Manager of NNTC, and Ivan, Business Development Manager at Sira. As well, we will have a special guest who will share with us the experience of solution implementation. Dmitry, mic is yours.
Thank you, Lyubov. Let me start with a very brief introduction of what NNTC is and basically what are the challenges of retail industry that we're trying to solve with technology. So NNTC is a Dubai-based company. It's part of the international group working in more than 40 countries and with the physical presence in Russia, in Turkey, in Bahrain, Latvia, Cyprus, and a few other places. So I run the UAE office that is focusing extensively on the emerging technologies through developing our own software products and also collaborating a lot with the startup community, mostly of Russia, and kind of building innovative solutions for our customers with that as well. And I don't want to spend too much time on us, but we've been working in the region for a few years, and there are some government and private customers that we have done good business with. Our technology areas that we are focusing on is video analytics, Industry 4.0, and the drone inspection automation, drone software. So obviously today we're going to talk a lot about video analytics. And the physical retail has been under a lot of pressure, even in the pre-pandemic world, because the online is there and there are so many options for people to go shopping. And now in the pandemic and in the future post-pandemic situations, there are also few trends that are going to impact the way that we are shopping. And for sure, people will not stop going to the physical stores because, I mean, this is a very, let's say, getting something, buying something is like hunting, right? And this pleasure of doing this is very deeply ingrained in the human brains. So this will not change overnight. So people will be going to the stores pretty much at the same pace as before. But what can change is the technology that can help the retailers make this experience entertaining, efficient, and safe. And things like social distancing, like optimal product placement, like enabling autonomous or automated stores are something that can be greatly enhanced by the use of technology. So we're not offering just pieces of technology, but the comprehensive business approach and understanding of current challenges and way to find solutions on boosting sales, improving efficiency, and reducing losses. So having said that, I would like to pass the mic to Ivan Smolin, who is the business development manager with our partner Sira, developing a comprehensive software video analytics solution focused on food retail. Ivan, let me stop sharing the screen.
Yeah, thank you, Dmitry. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Let me start with my presentation. How can you see my screen? Okay, let me start. Hello, everyone. My name is Ivan Smolin. I'm Business Development Officer in Sira. So Sira is a software developer that helps to automate key business process in retail store using computer vision and machine learning algorithms. Today we cover most important areas in the store and automate them. Let's take a look at the store from above. Entry zone, inside and outside people or vehicle traffic counter, cash out zone, control of cash transactions and queue counter, queue detection, shelves, control of lack of goods on the shelf and merchandising control, and also with a price tag recognition. Unloading zone to increase the efficiency of unloading the truck. Let's take a look to each of these solutions and dive into the problem faced by retailer and how we fix it. Queues. Each of us often stands in the line in the supermarket and thinks, why can't they react so quickly? Why don't I go to another store? So the problem with the queue in the supermarkets often depends on people, on how quickly they react to open an additional checkout. Usually, it's inefficient management of staff tasks. As a result, store losing the customer and loses the money. So what we did? Sira detects all people in the checkout area, analyzes the state of checkouts, and notifies the responsible employee via messenger or with a voice notification to loudspeakers. Plus, we give the, if the queue continues and is not resolved, we escalate the problem to a higher employee. So as a result, we solved the problem of instant response and gave the analytics of effective management. Here are some examples of store manager queue report that accumulates all the information about the queue to better deal with the problem. And as a result, we increased the turnover of one of our clients by 2.8%. The next problem is on shelf availability. To understand that the shelf is empty or there is no necessary product on it, store manager should go through the entire store. He does not always know what product to deliver and whatever is in stock or not. It takes a lot of time. And then as a result, store loses the customer and loses the money. So what we did? Sira analyzed the lack of goods on the shelf, recognized every product on the shelf, compared the current display with the ideal planogram. In case of absence, system checks the product on the stock on the local warehouse and gives the recommendation to responsible employee. So the shelf is under control 24/7. And as a result, we solved the problem of instant response and gave the analytics for effective management. Here is some examples of shelf management reports that accumulates all the information about shelf through the period. Shelf management showed the excellent result of one of our clients, and we increased the turnover by 3.8%. And I showed the separate options, but it also can work together and give greater results by 7.2%, increase the turnover. So also what we got, the price tag recognition. It can be recognized with camera that control the shelf, as I told you before, and also for competitors' price tags recognition. The system recognizes all the data on the price tag and display them in the interface. Traffic counter. System can be used like 2-in-1. First, it counts the number of people who entered the building, and then we understand the occupancy of the building. Here we can send a notification to an employee if the building is full, and a display the number of visitors, so that all customers understand how many people are already in the building. The second one is the counting people or vehicles passing by and counting incoming people. So we understand the conversion. In this case, data can be used to open new stores and to improve the store's performance for marketing activities. So Sira is a browser-based solution, so it can be used on any device with a browser installed. We do not require expensive hardware or complex integrations. We can use the store's existing CCTV cameras and existing server to connect through Sira Cloud. All integrations with store systems or task management programs are connected with the Sira API. Cameras on the shelf can be different types, on the shelf itself, like in this case, or above it. Here are examples of the cameras and installation in real store. We have a high-tech product. The process of learning neural networks occurs both on existing photos of product from the store, from the shelf, and on synthetic data that we create. Our results are reported in the top media, and thanks for all our customers that already trust us. And one of them is the largest retail chain in Russia, this Magnit. And now I want to give the floor to a special guest, Head of R&D Division, Victoria Kozlova. Victoria, please welcome.
Hello, everyone. I'm Victoria, and I'm responsible for piloting and implementation of modern technologies in Magnit. Next slide, please. So what's Magnit? It is the Russian leading retail chain. We have more than 21,000 stores of different formats: convenience, drudgery, supermarkets, hypermarkets, and pharmacies. We have 12 million customers a day in 65 regions of Russia, have 38 distribution centers and about 5,000 trucks. Magnit is Russia's largest private employers with more than 300,000 employees. The Magnit's shares are in free circulation and are traded on the Moscow and London stock exchanges. Next slide, please. Well, for us, as for all the retailers, the checkout line is one of the most important points of control. That's why we need the maximum automatization here, and we believe it should be based on video analytics. So that's going to be the first case I want to share. Last year, we installed the system in the first batch of stores. It counts people online and non-stop, and if there are 5 and more of them, it's registered as an alarm. Then the system checks the rest of checkouts, and if there are any without a queue, we suggest customers through the audio system to go to the empty ones. If there are queues everywhere, the alarm is to be sent as a Telegram message to the store manager, and they go and open one more checkout unit. Thus, the store team responds to the changes of the customer's flow by locating the cashiers at places they need it in real time. And if there is no traffic, we move the staff to the sales area or receiving area. Also, we are going to develop it further and use the collected data to understand the store peak loads, to improve the work schedules, and eventually learn to use the queue forecast to make the business processes more effective, to be able to act in advance. During the pandemic times, we've added distance control within monitoring zones. And if people come too close to each other, there's an audio alert where we remind people to keep the distance. And the same with the mask control. We are a socially responsible company, so we try to be anti-COVID oriented in every our project to provide all the people inside the sales points the necessary level of safety. Next slide, please. Well, the effect we got this way is that we've already reduced the number of complaints to the call center. The service speed was significantly increased because the queues decreased by 50% and the average sales increased by 2%. Now we've been scaling the Sira system to all supermarkets and hypermarkets. Next slide, please. The other, our perspective case is shelf control. It's piloting right now. We scan shelves several times a day and check goods availability, the planogram, and price tags. The store team works with alarms and replenish the shelves, provide the correct location for each item, and make sure that there are right tags on them. That is possible because we've integrated Sira with our inventory and planogram systems. And when the staff receives a message with a problem, they also see if this or that item available on the stock and how many. The manager makes much more quick decision on precise instructions for their personnel to be given out. What exactly should be done at the moment? By the end of the pilot, we expect to get a sales growth up to 7% based on this functionality. Our final goal where we go here is that video analytics becomes not only the truthful source that can detect and analyze anything in the picture, but in combination with other store data, it can develop the recommendation model for lots of processes and sales points. And on the long-term perspective, we will be able to manage sales area and the staff semi-automatically, providing also the increased level. Stop. Not this slide. Yes.
Sorry.
Well, and we hope we can provide also the increased level of product traceability. Step by step, each sales point will integrate into the supply chain process and make it complete. Thank you for your attention. I'll hand you over to Sira.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Victoria, for sharing with us this information. And for right now, I want to show for all of you how exactly the store manager and the headquarters can work with the system. Share my screen. 1 second, please. Okay, now you see the interface. So let's imagine that I'm a store manager and trying to authorize. So in addition to the fact that so we can choose the model that we use, in addition to the fact that the manager has online notifications in the store to the messengers, they can take a look for reports, analytical reports, and to understand the entire situation and make a decision. As you can see here, this example of queue report, local queue report for a store manager. We can take a look for additional screenshots and analyze the problem to see all information about queue, how many, the duration of the queue, the speed, and how many checkouts were open in this case. And the next one that I want to share with you, this is the interface for headquarters. This is a dashboard, looks like, for top managers that immediately understand the situation across the entire retail chain. Which of stores are less effective and which should pay attention. Let me go to top stores by planogram. Yeah, so as you can see, here's a top 5 stores, and you can see the difference between them and make the right decision. all information, so you have the eyes in every store of your retail chain, and you can make the right decision to understand how exactly you have to improve and make some decisions for any of the stores. So this is the example of the Q dashboard. Yeah, and a planogram execution. Okay. And now, let me go back with my presentation. Yeah, so the final slide, this is my call to action for you. And what we need to run a free pilot, we have just 3 steps. First one, you need to give us the video stream of existing camera in your store, so we can connect it to our Sira server and add you to a messenger, to a group where you will get all the notifications about the queue. So in this case, you clearly understand the technology. You can easily test the technology, and we can go to and launch an advanced pilot on your stores. Thank you so much. I'm ready for a Q&A and ready to share with you some more detailed information if needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much to all speakers for those interesting presentations. So we've got a couple of questions. If you don't mind, I will read them for you. Where do the notification come to? What messenger or what application?
Okay, we can work with any messenger. I mean, first of all, for sure, we can use the most popular messengers like Telegram or Viber or Messenger Facebook. But in the second case, we can be integrated in a local messenger with an API, with a Sira API to run the notification on your messenger.
All right, thank you so much. What type of server is required to store a video stream?
Okay, so in different types of solutions, we need different servers, and for sure it depends on the quantity of the number of cameras that we need to analyze. We don't use the highly expensive servers. We can use just the regular servers that have a GPU on board, and we can use the local server like your server, because we work with a Docker container, and we can be installed in your server as well.
Okay. And the last as of now, is there any special requirements for cameras?
No. Obviously, we can work with any IP camera. For sure, it should be IP camera. And we can work with any brand in the world, I guess. We just need the RTSP stream, video stream from any camera. But for sure, for different solutions, we need a different definition of the IP camera. Like for queue management, we can use existing CCTV camera, and it's enough for a camera to be the definition be between 1 and 2 megapixels. If we run with shelf management, for sure the definition should be higher, and we can work with 4 or 5 megapixels as well.
That's great. Thank you so much for answering those questions.
Thank you.
Dear participants, please drop your questions, and our speakers will be answering them on the chat. Let's move on to our second session. a loyalty card your customer will never leave. And I would like to introduce our speakers. Here we have Alena, iFalcon product manager, and Yuri, business development manager of our partner company, Manzana.
Yeah, thank you, Lyubov. Let me share my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. That's right. Today we will discuss the loyalty programs, possibilities to expand them, and we'll see what effect it may have in the business. There comes a moment in everyone's life when we subscribe to our first ever loyalty program. They say an average consumer belongs to 14 loyalty programs, but is only active in 6. Most of them are cards or mobile apps. Being very usual and normal, cards and apps in general have certain deficiencies, which every retail business knows very well. First of all, there are too many stores where we shop and too many cards to carry, so customers just leave their thick pack of cards at home. Secondly, let's look at stats. Half of your customers who spent time and filled out the registration form will never use their cards. Surveys state that consumers want loyalty cards to be easily accessible, but why we build our own mobile apps and do not think any further? Let's have a closer look at a face recognition technology. Face recognition gives a fast and obtrusive way to register a consumer in a loyalty program and identify him or her later. As a result, face recognition brings the main advantage of online shopping to offline. This advantage is data. You may know who entered your store, for how long, and how many times, and was purchased. We at NNTC see face recognition as a powerful addition to loyalty programs. Retailers create loyalty programs because they know selling to an existing customer is much easier than selling to a new one. Most loyalty programs work at the checkout only. Also, most of them work with registered users only. How about activating loyalty program the moment people enter the store? Loyalty program, which based on face recognition, is able to recognize and identify any client who ever entered your store. For those clients who have not formally signed up for the loyalty program, we will store only the personalized face descriptors, timestamps, and purchased goods. Business insights based on this data help retailers make more accurate decisions. This eventually helps increase sales by 20%. In a few minutes, we will show you how. The loyalty program which we talk about is powered by face recognition, predictive analytics, and machine learning. Let's see how it works. There are 3 main steps. First, the consumer comes in. When he or she is at the entrance, face recognition identifies the person and looks up historical records. Second, loyalty programs uses artificial intelligence and recommends the most suitable products. And the last, we notify personnel about this recommendation. Thus, you get the ability to propose the best choice at the right time. How does it benefit your business? Let me explain. First of all, you release your clients from carrying cards or even thinking about them. Secondly, almost like magic, the discount and special offers are delivered to the right people at the right time. Thirdly, with a database of your VIP customers, you can propose them a better shopping experience. Next, as soon as your clients enter your store, you learn their age, gender, and collect stats on purchasing behavior. Thanks to this, you can now better understand your target customer segment. And now you can build your marketing strategy to cater this segment more efficiently. Later on, the stats will help you evaluate how successful was your strategy. And last but not least, you can track the emotions of your customers and understand which products bring the most positive feedback. How do recommendations work? The recommendation model is based on 2 factors: what to propose and when to propose. To make these decisions, the loyalty program analyzes customer data, such as what was purchased and in which quantities, timing and frequency of purchases, and purchases of clients from the same segment. Also, the program may take into account the active promo actions from your partners and pitch them more targetedly. Our solution gives 3 channels to deliver recommendation and offers to the clients. First, notify Shop Assistant when your customer is already in store and looking for something. Second, we can notify the customer directly at checkout right after purchase. And the last, you can use external communication like calls, mails, SMS after a visit without a purchase, just to remind about you. You can use one of them or combine. We can help you optimize communication plan up to your business task. Any existing loyalty program can be upgraded with a face recognition model and become much more effective. Let me summarize how this will increase your sales. Don't let your customers forget loyalty cards. Instead, build a loyalty program based on face recognition. Know all the customers who ever come into a store and deliver custom offers to all of them. Make your recommendation more relevant. Artificial intelligence recommendation model will help you to do it. And combine the most appropriate channels to deliver your offers to the right people at the right time. Let's have a few examples now, and I welcome Yuri from Amazon to guide us through the case and the interface.
Thank you, Alena. So, yeah, thank you. So, yeah, thank you for these cases for facial recognition in the marketing area that you mentioned. So, and yeah, as an example, we can look at story of supermarket retail chain called Udacha, runs loyalty program based on facial recognition. So imagine no plastic cards, no phone numbers, no mobile apps, only customer faces, and it's a bonus points loyalty program. Customers earn bonus points making purchases and pay for purchases by bonus points. So plus they run a gamification campaign with a lottery for regular shoppers to drive purchase frequency. So it took 3 months to launch such a loyalty program and IT solution. And as a result, retailer mentioned average purchase growth, collected customer base members and non-members, which is interesting, plus reputation of innovative company. So let me share my screen and show you how it can look like. 1 minute. Yeah. Okay. Good. So I guess you can see my screen now. Let's assume I'm a chief marketing officer of a retail chain. So I'm responsible for marketing campaign execution, loyalty program management, marketing analysis, and marketing communications. So to run my marketing campaigns, I rely on my loyalty program data, and it's good, precise, pretty full. And my daily routine, I use a set of dashboards like this one you can see now. And here I can evaluate key performance indicators for my loyalty program, such as, let's say, loyalty program penetration, percentage of active cards, new loyalty program members recruitment, or availability by different communication channel, redemption rate, etc. And plus, I definitely can analyze some more information as an example, so I can compare my marketing campaigns. I can calculate ROI, return on investments, and see how it works. So plus, as far as I run a loyalty program, I have a pretty good database related to customer behavior, and I can see what's going on in every particular segment or macro segment. So as you see, it looks good from marketing data analysis perspective. Is it a full stack of information I need to run business? I guess not exactly. It's good, it's correct, it's precise, but it's not absolutely full in terms of coverage. So what I miss as a CMO, as a chief marketing officer, so I miss unknown customers, anonymous customers who are not members of my loyalty program. And to be honest, I don't even know the number of such customers. What I do know, I know only number of their purchases, but not number of customers, repetitive purchases, one-time shoppers, etc. So now imagine that they can add facial recognition solution, and now we can see what happens within store as we see above. And not only from POS perspective, not only in terms of purchases, but we can see how many visitors and how many unique customers we have within each particular store or each particular POS today, this week, or this month. And we can calculate really unique customers for one particular store or for the whole retail chain. And not only numbers, but we can see such a characteristic as we discussed before, as mood or emotions, plus gender, plus age group, etc., etc. And hope you agree that that's better, but now we can go even further, and we can add most interesting thing here. We can combine data from facial recognition solution with data from POS or CRM solution, which I use to manage my loyalty program. And as we add such integration, so now we can get a full picture for every particular customer. We mean market basket, customer behavior information, and here it doesn't matter if they participate in the loyalty program or not. We can see and analyze customer behavior for each particular customer. As an example, now we can calculate average purchase frequency or average purchase for each size of average purchase for each particular customer. We can see what kind of brands customer likes, and we can see interval between purchases. And yeah, and we can even apply segmentation to our customer base. I mean, the whole customer base, not only loyalty program members. And we can do it even if our loyalty program member left plastic cards at home, or even if this particular customer doesn't have such cards at all. So what can we do with such information? So as an example, we can go to our CRM solution. So, and we can, yeah, here we can see as an example our CRM solution, Manzana Loyalty online to run a loyalty program for retail, or medicine, or sport industry. And so we can create a targeted marketing campaigns dedicated to not only loyalty program members, but also anonymous customers who doesn't participate in our loyalty program. So, and even for this customer now, we can have the whole picture, the whole statistic regarding the customer behavior. You know, facial recognition is not brand new technology, but it becomes very, very affordable for medium-sized business. CRM solutions are not something new for retail too. We provide our users with a CRM solution for loyalty program for 14 years already. But combining these powerful tool to get new knowledge about our customers and visitors, and we can increase our marketing effectiveness with such a modern and innovative tool. So thank you very much, and thank you. So.
Thank you very much to Alena and Yuri for the presentations. We've got some questions. Let me just read them for you. What's the price model?
Oh, that's a very good and very typical question. You know, so according to our experience, so the cost to implement such solution, that's approximately the same as just implement a CRM solution to run a loyalty program. So not huge difference really. But anyway, it depends on scale of business. It depends on number of stores, number of customers. So so we need to discuss it. We need more details to provide your precise estimation. But anyway, we can get back to this question after the meeting, and we'll provide you with an estimation.
Great use this software in communication with the customer.
Oh no, yeah, good question, and yeah, I just realized I missed it. So you know, there is so we have a huge flexibility in communications with our loyalty program members through convenient communication channels and new ones that Alena mentioned before. So we can do it based on all this knowledge we have about customers. But if we are talking about customers who do not participate in loyalty programs, they have no chance for targeted communications, only advertising. But no chance to make a target communications. But here, if we combine facial recognition solution plus CRM solution and data from POS, we can analyze customer behavior, and we analyze market basket by each particular customer. We can create a targeted campaign and very personal message for that particular customer. And we even can push this particular message to this unknown anonymous customer. We don't know phone number, we don't know email address, we don't know name of this customer, but in a very appropriate moment, as this particular customer comes to POS and start to pay for a purchase, we can send a message to cashier with a hint, say this thing to this particular customer, or we can print a message, invitation, or coupon for next purchase targeted for this particular customer in his or her slip. So that's the scenario we received. New scenario we received for communication with our customers, even if these customers don't participate in loyalty program. So that's a totally new scenario of very targeted marketing communications.
Thank you, Yuri. And the last one, do you store any personal data and where?
Yeah, thank you, Leba, for questions. We store only personal data for customers who have registered for the loyalty program. For the others, we store only the personalized face descriptors and not any personal information. Based on these descriptors, you can deconstruct the user's photo. You can only use them to identify your customers.
Mm-hmm. Thank you again to all of you for the presentations and answers. I would suggest to move to the next session. We are going a little bit ahead of time, but I think it should be, I hope it's fine with everyone if we will move to the our last session, how AI helps lower shelves audit costs and boost sales. This presentation will be done by Dmitry, and our general manager, and Evgeny, business development director of Intelligence Retail.
Right. Thank you, Lyubov. And as you certainly noticed, the staff of the retailer are not the only people who spend time in the stores. Of course, there are consumers as well, but the brands, the manufacturers of foods, beverage, different FMCG products are also quite concerned with the what is happening inside the store, because for them this is the most important sales channel. So if something is wrong, if their goods are not on the shelves due to the logistics issues or some misunderstanding with the retail chain, this means direct losses for them. And there is literally army, hundreds to thousands of merchandisers. Sometimes they are employed by the brand itself, sometimes by the third-party company, and they basically make sure that the products are represented in the right way. However, as with most aspects of our life, there is room for improvement over here. So what we typically see is that 2 to 5% of the revenue of a particular brand can be lost due to the shelf issues. So if the product is not available, then of course people cannot buy it, and this is impacting the sales and the other financial parameters of the brand. If there is the share of shelf, if the way that the products are supposed to be represented on the shelves is not maintained, this is another problem. So if for some reasons there is too much Coca-Cola products and not too many, not too much space dedicated for Pepsi, certainly Pepsi shouldn't be very happy about it. And again, this is normally very manual process. It can be purely on paper, or it can be automated through some kind of mobile applications where you still have to input the data manually, and the tool to understand what really is going on is the human eyes and human cognition. So if you're a merchandiser and you have a lot of stores to take care of, and there is a time pressure and the KPIs seem hard to you, always there is a temptation to kind of report the reality not accurately, but in favor of yourself. And this is what is happening. So if this is a big brand, then the reports are a little bit polished on the field personnel level. Then there is mid-management that polishes a little bit more, and to the company decision makers, it gets in a really distorted way. So they cannot really rely on this information for the decision making. So what can be done is, again, the use of AI and machine learning to enhance this process and basically remove the human error factor out of the process, and speed up and automate things. So how it is done is through the mobile application and the backend software by Intelligence Retail, which is basically integrated as a mobile application that runs in the phone of the store representative. Normally, it's integrated into some existing mobile application, because the kind of advanced brands, most of the people that we are talking to, they have some kind of mobile app to control this as well. And what can be done is replacing the manual product entry with the image recognition. So the person is just instructed to take the photos, and then the rest is done by the artificial intelligence. So the image recognition and getting the shelf KPIs in terms of the kind of availability, the share of shelf, and other things that are important for the brand to know. And again, since this is a mobile application, you get the GPS location and the name of the merchandiser and all these things. So it doesn't have to be inserted manually. And I would like to see if Evgeny Mataev has already joined the presentation for him to take over and talk more about the product. Luba, is Evgeny with us already?
Looks like he will need a few minutes more.
It's not a big problem. Let me switch to the another slide deck that goes in a little bit more details about how intelligence retail is working. I'll share my screen once again. So basically, the team starts the project by teaching the system, the computer vision system, the SKUs, the products that the brand owns, for the software to recognize them accurately. So the accuracy that is typically reached during the project is above 95%, and there is even a strict KPI so that the poor recognition quality doesn't have to be paid by the customer. And so all kind of product categories can be recognized. So even, I mean, the software should know all the products of the brand, of the customer, basically, who is paying for the implementation. But it knows what, like, in general, the beverage is, and what is the different food items. So you can get the share of shelf quite accurately, even if the system is not trained to recognize particular competitor products, even though this is possible, this can be done. So, are you still able to see my screen? Because I got a little bit confused, sorry.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah, so what are the shelf KPIs that can be calculated online? This is the share of shelf, share of assortment, on-shelf availability, the prices can be controlled, the planogram compliance, which was mentioned by Ivan before. So in a retail store, planogram means the layout of let's say multiple products from multiple brands that the store wants to see, but in a brand, that means their own their own products. So I mean, some brands do have their preferred way of how things should look on the shelf, and this is what computer vision software can do. And things like promo execution. So if the prices has been reduced according to the guidelines, and if certain products are being put on promotion, this is being controlled by the software as well. So what are some of the references that, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Evgeny will talk more about the project experience that they have acquired, because there are as far as I remember, more than 20 projects that are up and running in production. But for example, Danone is processing more than 1 million photos a month, and there are 1,000 users, the merchandisers that go to the store, to the stores in their territory every day to do what is called retail execution, because I mean, this is an everyday job to keep the shelves in order and help the company make money. Basically, there are more than 3,000 SKUs that are being recognized, and the accuracy is more than 97%. So actually, all the public references that I have here on the slides, the accuracy is more than 95% as per the guidelines. And yeah, the KPIs that are being recognized is on-shelf availability, share of shelf. Then in some cases it's price monitoring and it's planogram. How the projects typically go is the basic KPIs. So like the availability and the share of shelf are implemented first, because it's not only about the technology being ready, the staff has to be ready to implement the software as well. So basically, people need to get comfortable with using the application to see that it's working accurately. They don't have to double check everything and write the information once again. And then the more advanced things can be implemented, like the planogram compliance, which usually requires the integration with the certain software systems that kind of control the planogram and make sure that they're executed across all the retail stores. And the kind of the savings for each person to each merchandiser for the store inspection can be up to 2 times. So like people can be effectively covering twice the big of the territory they've been doing before, and the manual data entry part is removed from their job, which on one hand it's easier for a person. I mean, this is quite tedious and error prone, and on the other hand there is no temptation to kind of put any false data, because you just need to click the picture, and then what is happening in reality is assessed and recognized by the AI system that is processing the data in the cloud, and then it's reporting the needed KPIs to the company management, to the leaders of those merchandisers team, and up to the command chain. All right, let me show you how it works. I will go to the video and then stop sharing my screen here and share.
I can join if you wish.
Okay.
With the demo.
Very good. So basically, I have explained about the intelligence retail and how it works, and even covered a bit of the implementation. So please go ahead and show how the system works in real life, and talk a bit more about the case studies, about the results of real life implementations, because certainly you know much more about it. Thank you, Evgeny.
Sure. Thank you, Dmitry, for the beginning and for support. Hello, everybody. I'm going to show you some demonstration, and let's discuss about some case studies. But first of all, let me share my screen and show you the presentation that we got. So yeah, a couple of words for the company. We've been established in 2016, and we focus our efforts to help CPG producers and retailers to enhance their retail execution processes with their on-shelf KPIs. As you can see, we are presented in several continents, and we work in 15 countries, mainly in 3 regions, which are Russia, CIS, Latin America, and MENA regions. As you can see from the figures on the right, we're not a startup, so we work in a production scale for 4 years in a row. And all the brands down there that you can see are rolled out projects, basically. So how it works? Maybe Dmitry has covered that, but in brief, if we go with the FMCG producer, they normally have SFA solution for their field stuff. And we can go into 2 options. One option is we integrate into their existing SFA as a step of a visit. So the guy works with his SFA, and at some moment he finds himself with our camera, and maybe he doesn't even know that he traveled to another application. So he thinks he still works in his SFA. Another option is that we can provide end-to-end solution, including our standalone app with the routes, visits, and step of the visits. Sometimes it's needed. If we go in a project with the retailer, they normally don't have a sales force which visits stores day by day. So they prefer to go into so-called IoT suite, and they link or integrate our system into their existing or maybe new IoT tools such as cameras, drones, robots, shopping carts. When I was saying about on-shelf KPIs, I actually meant these KPIs. Some of our competitors may drill it down to 100 KPIs, but in general, on top level, these are those. They have priorities, right? It depends from customer to customer. But what we do know from our experience is that on-shelf availability and share of shelf are the so-called low-hanging fruits. So someone wants to ask something?
Evgeny, I kind of covered this.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, let's move on.
Go straight for the demonstration. That would be better.
It's actually this second slide, next slide. So let's start with the, just a second. Sorry about that. So again. Well, yeah. This is how it works. Field user, let it be sales representative or merchandiser or even auditor, enters the store. He takes a picture of the category. As you can see, system helps him not to make it improperly, as proper pictures actually are grants for high recognition accuracy. As you can see, photos are already, one photo, okay, but still already recognized. So it works in like seconds. All the products on the shelf have been recognized. So a user can actually double check it in order to make sure that system will estimate his work properly. Also, you can see that system recognized prices. They're rectangled in blue, saying that it's promo or regular price tags. If it's in yellow, it's promo price tag. When the guy finished his visit, he can see the analytics, can work with basic KPIs or the KPIs that customer implemented. Here you can see on-shelf availability and share of shelf that actually cover that they are the main ones. And he can actually check for what contributed into share of shelf, what was spotted in the store on shelves versus the product list that is uploaded to this store. And actually he can see the lack of assortment or so-called out of shelf, the SKUs that are missing. So he can actually click on that, see the images of the missing products, maybe try to find them in the warehouse. For those that he couldn't find, he can set a reason why is it out of shelf, or maybe out of stock, right? If he knows that the stock is 0. So Once the photos are taken and the guy has seen that everything was recognized and his job was estimated properly, we can travel to back office, to our back office users, and see the portal. On the example of home care and personal care customer. Just a second, it's gonna download. Okay, so this is the real portal where you can travel to any visit that has been taken like lately or a lot of time ago, and you can see everything in details. So basically on the left, you can see the same set of dashboards that user can see, and also you can drill it down as a user can do. But in back office system, it's much more easier to do and maybe more comfortable. So here we're in the share of shelf, and we can see subcategories that the customer defined. On the picture, we can see FemCare. Okay, let's drill it down so we can see which brand contributed how much into this or that share of shelf of the producer. Also, if a customer goes in a so-called panel, like this customer does, he can actually untick this button and see his competitors, all the competitors, and in centimeters or in facings or even in square centimeters, he can check for which brands actually contributed to share of shelf, and is it fair or not. Let's move on to on-shelf availability. So you can play with the filters. You can say, okay, I want to see it by categories. Here you can actually upload various product lists like must-stock list plus a specific planogram for this exact format of retailer and so on. So here's only one, calculating 65% fulfillment. And if we drill down to categories, this is the result. So we went for FemCare, right? So let's open it up. Here you can see the price of the product that was spotted on the shelf. If it's a regular price or discounted, so discount one, meaning that it's a discounted price in yellow, as you can see. Then it was a plan, right? So it was in a product list, and also system calculates the actual by centimeters or facings like that, or by groups if a product stands one on another. Normally it's not being calculated twice, it's only calculated once. Also, you can scroll it down to the products which are missing. So they were in a plan, but they were not spotted on the shelf. You can also check for the products in the matrix or product list plus presence. So what was not in the matrix, but was on the shelf. Or you can check for the products which are out of shelf, out of matrix, but still not out of shelf, sorry, on the shelf, but out of matrix. So you can see what are the products that are listed in the retailer, although you didn't expect that. Normally, it has something to do with the master data of how the product lists are being kept and maintained by key account managers. So you can actually help them to do this properly. Also, the products which are missing, you can see them the same way like the guy can see. This barcode down there is actually the help for field user to compare the stock, so to check the stock on the warehouse. Here, as you can see, the customer asks merchandisers to take a reason of out of stock. So here it says in Russian out of stock. Somewhere it may be virtual stock, or like there it was not recognized properly. So it's a trigger for us to improve our recognition accuracy engine. In brief, that's it. I think we should move on to proceed. So there are 3 steps, right? You're capturing photos, getting analytics through recognition of images, and also you have to aggregate the data and work with that. It's very rare, to be honest, that we sell our BI platform, and there's a reason behind that. For small customers, it's quite enough to go like this, right? So we extract reports in the way they want. So this is the extract with all the data, with the KPI split into small parts like this out on shelf availability part, plan, actual, total, and things like that. So they work with it like this. They create a pivot table, work like, I don't know, for instance, merchandising territories, right? So you have two merchandising agencies. You can drill it down and see which territories are performing better or worse. You can work with the agency or with the exact supervisor to improve the KPIs. Same story for retailers. So if you want to talk to a buyer in a retailer, you can choose them and say that's okay for Ashan, or I don't know, no visits. Well, this is good, good retailer with good results. But this one, right, it has bad marks, let's say, and there's some space to improve. So this is enough, as I said, for major customers, which are, let's say, medium customers. And for the big ones from the slide there, they normally do have their own BI tool, and they work with their sellout data. So how we work with them, we actually set or tune an API integration of our data to their business warehouse system. So then it's being compiled by the store code and the period of time with the sales data that they already have in their system. And this actually helps them to work with the analytics pretty thoroughly. E.g., they experiment with the layout. They say, okay, with this region, I'm gonna stand out my Coca-Cola, I don't know, can 03 in 4 facings rather than 3. And I will place it on second shelf from the top, which means eye level, and I'm gonna see the results. So once you do this experiment, you are pretty sure that it's been executed, right? Because the system will tell it to you properly. At the same time, after some period of time, well, accordingly, you can check for the sales incremental uplift. If it did work out, then you can extrapolate this experience to other regions. If it did not, you can use another experiment. So this is how it works typically. Also, maybe let's see our first store, or one of the best probably projects that we have, just to understand what's this. Well, yeah, what is the volume and what are the approaches? So first of all, the Danone, our first big customer from Top Fortune. We started with them in 2017. At some stages, we were helping each other where, to grow and how to build up and improve processes. However, now they cover 100,000 visits per month, and we recognize 1.5 million photos per month for them. They have a lot of SKUs. It's a little bit, well, due to their own request, and also due to our experience with the retailer, where we actually tuned system to know 3,000 and more SKUs to recognize the whole category and help retailer reduce out of shelf. So actually Danone benefited out of it. As you can see, recognition accuracy is very high. Also, there's not in the list, but in our pipeline, it's a Perfetti Vandale or Mars Wrigley. Actually, also they work in a near cashier zone. It seems to be very difficult or complex to be recognized because objects are, behind others. But still, as you can see, the results, the accuracy is very high. So this actually enables your retail execution processes to be well measured and well managed, because you don't actually have the field force pushback saying that the system works improperly, it doesn't recognize things, and so on. So Danone works with the classical or classic approach. He started with OSA and focused on that, then moved on to share of shelf, and then started to enhance processes when they actually scaled the project to the whole well, geographical scale. They started with promo. So actually they have a list of products which should be under discount from a certain day. So in this day, end user, in their case, as I remember, it's a sales representative. He takes a picture of, well, normal picture of normal category for OSA and share of shelf. He doesn't do any new pictures. And apart from OSA and share of shelf system tells him that there should have been 5 SKUs under discount, and I only could find 4 products out of the list, and 3 of them are under discount and 1 is not. So he gets this information straight away, and he can go to the shop assistant and ask them to print the new price tag. Or if he faces the refusal, he can escalate the issue to key account manager to work with the retailer. Also, the pretty fresh thing from them, they started to work with brand blocks, making sure their brands are placed together, and altogether their products are placed together as a so-called corporate block. P&G, they actually decided to go in a sort of a panel. So they have, as I remember, somewhat like 7 to 10 merchandise covering the stores and processing merchandising activities in them. And they actually asked us to train the system to recognize their competitors in details. This actually enables them to see the whole trade, actually. So they know each store's shares of assortment, of share, and so on. So they actually check each competitor as I saw in details, and they check for the prices. They ensure their price indexes are competitive and things and so on. Another case is pharma. So yeah, for the cluster that is only inside the shelf, it's not applicable for sure. But some of the producers, they have displays with products, even with pills, like with Sanofi, and we can be helpful there as well. So Sanofi is a very interesting project. It started in 2019. It still continues due to COVID. We have some territories not launched yet because people are sitting stuck in the home, waiting for the when they are revealed. However, all 13 countries like Brazil, Colombia, Argentina, Mexico, and others, they attached to our system. So we adjusted the system a little bit to work with pharma. They work with the OSA, like availability of the product, and also they kind of invented a KPI for us. They call it OSV, on-shelf visibility. So we calculated in facings their products that should be in some minimum facings. Also with Sanofi, we started to work with POS materials. We recognize POS materials separately and tell them if everything is in place, because they try to support their promo activations and other activities with these materials, and they need to know where and when they have been placed in the trade. And my personal, well, it's not good to say that, but okay, my lovely project with Mars Wrigley, it was very complex, because Mars is a very, how to say, innovative and very, well, serious organization, and they have very difficult and complex processes inside. One of them is so-called Perfect Store. I bet you have heard of such projects. In Coke, it's called Red. In Diageo, it's called Edge, and so on. So in Mars, it's being named as it actually names in the books, a perfect store. When you actually measure the potential of each store, and you measure the contribution of each perfect store KPI in the region, and you kind of play with it, so you can tell the field user, so you can work a little bit with OSA in this outlet and get 10 points or 10 scores, and you can backflip in planogram in order to achieve just one. So you don't need to think about it and to tell it to them. You just set the system in such a way that each user gets accustomed to work within it, within this ecosystem, and they actually know and understand that they need to focus their attention to high contributive KPIs rather than low contributive KPIs, and they feel it in their day-to-day activities. So they already have this. They already had this project implemented and automated with their SFA system, but they were not happy with the results because they understood that end user cheated them as only they got these KPIs in their bonuses in their sales incentive schemes. They started to write figures which are which they wanted to write. So they had to automate this process with the image recognition technology. It took us around 6 months to roll out this project because it's actually contained some adjustments in their existing SFA to just put, thoroughly in each perfect store surveys field the possibility to automatically calculate this or that KPIs. All the KPIs are very different and various, and the algorithms are very complex sometimes. So we spent a lot of time to have a deep integration with their existing SFA provider. And now the situation is like following. They work in the same interfaces, and nothing has changed. It's only they don't have to manually count the facings and things like that and put it into the fields. It's just being automatically entered or fulfilled by the system when they take a picture. I bet you have seen all the volumes in terms of users and SKUs while I was talking about the KPIs. I think we'll be able to go back to this in Q&A session. So normally it's kind of difficult to get the outcomes report from the customer because after a year of working together, they try to focus on the project enhancement. It's rare that they go back to prove the ROI because they already understand that on the first 3-6 months, and then they don't need it. Actually, they got the money, they paid it back, and then they focus on processes, leveraging the technology in their retail execution processes. However, we have 2 proven cases from our customers. So as for Danone, they also had this retail execution process in place, covering 100,000 stores with almost 1,000 sales reps. Of course, the data was entered taking a long time, first of all. But what's more crucial is that it was not very accurate because normally end user gets tired. It's not always he wants to cheat you or fraud the system. No, it's just even if he tries, when the product is very small and you have a lot of SKUs and especially you want to get the data for the competitors, it takes like up to 1,000 SKUs that he has to process with his eyes in each store. So of course he makes mistakes. And according to our measurements, even the experienced guy makes mistakes up to 30%. So actually, the system helps in this. What we did, we actually improved their OSA very significantly. I have to say that this 71 baseline was the lowest ever KPI level that we measured in their project. So it was somewhere around by 80. So actually we increased it from 80 to 90, but still this is a very high increase. And according to, some institutes of analytics, they say that 3% of OSA is 1% of turnover. So even if they mistake double. So you can imagine how high they increased their sales. And actually, yes, they reduced the time for the visit, but it was just, background. So the main focus was OSA improvement and sales uplift, which is much higher in terms of the money, let's say, than the audit time reduction. Normally, still, our typical customer tries to put audit time reduction into ROI model because it's very, well, first of all, it's simple to calculate, right? You just send the guy with the system, he takes pictures and you check for versus previous timing that he spent for manual entering the data into SFA. However, let's make it clear, for the first time, especially when your field force was not so honest, they will spend as much time or even more because they will have to achieve perfect store before taking pictures. Because before that, if they wanted to have a nice figure in their SFA, they could have just entered it. But now, I personally saw the guy switching his mindset, trying to take pictures of what he already gets on the shelf with one hand and adjusting the products with the other. On third, fourth product, he just put his device into his pocket and started to work with two hands. So basically, it was a effective time spent in the outlet, but for the first time, he will be spending more time. Then, after the learning curve or just curve, yes, they will reduce time, but we recommend to focus on OSA, which is a low-hanging fruit. You can simply measure the baseline. You can set feasible targets, not from 70 to 90% straight away, but like 3% or, well, according to your expertise. And step by step, you can increase that dramatically. Also, the same story for Perfetti Van Melle. This is the Chupa Chups, if you don't know, near Cashier Zone, some other sweets as well, but I only remember Chupa Chups. These guys actually told us that, okay, we know the benchmarking level of 95% of OSA. So yeah, they said it's inachievable and so on, but however, we are somewhere at 90+%, so we're very cool, they said. So we said, we're not sure we can provide you with the pilot where you will get the real metrics and you will understand the real situation, the real baseline. So they were interested and they kind of got into the project. And when we finished in just 1.5 months, well, not finished the project, we finished measuring the baseline. It turned out to be 71. So basically, it was very, very different from what they thought. They just didn't actually come across checking it. Big companies, they involve external audit to check that, and they somehow understand that they're not at 90%. Maybe not precisely at which level they are, but they do understand that it's far. Here, they got to know that they're 20% behind. They had like 4 sleepless nights, but then they got used to it and they started, well, they proceeded the project, of course. And in just 12 months, we increased it by 22 points. So it was one of the biggest results for our customers. Yes, it has something to do with the very low baseline. Also, it has something to do with their ability to improve that, because system doesn't improve that. System highlights you the real state of things, right? And then you have to work with it. Not all customers can, bring it up to 90+% due to various reasons. But 5 to 10% it's achievable for any customer. And coming back to the sales uplifts, you remember that it's at least 1% of turnover on top. So I think we should wind up. Let me switch to Q&A session. Maybe stop sharing and read for the
Thank
question.
you very much, Evgeny and Dmitry, for such informative presentations. Yes, we will have a few very interesting questions, in fact. Is there any human power involved in the recognition process? What's the average recognition accuracy and how is it measured?
No, in our case, it's not. We don't use human power at all. This is an approach of the companies that work with the a little bit outdated approaches. So we make our system recognize everything with high accuracy straight away. So it actually helps us to, first of all, be very cheap in terms of the recognition cost per photo or per visit. And second, very quick. So normally with the technology like that, end user had to take a picture and he saw his result on the next day, or in the best case in 1 hour. For most of our customers, in 1 hour, end user will be in second or third store in a row. So actually it's not online result, and he cannot change it anyhow, and he cannot be sure that system estimated his job properly. So these are the benefits, and yeah, no human power involved in the recognition itself, and the accuracy you actually saw on the slides. It's not the outstanding results in 4 customers, and in other 20 we have like, I don't know, 80%. No, it's the lowest. I think it was 93, 94 for the very complex category. It's vodka. When you have a lot of similar sizes and there's a transparent liquid inside, system has some difficulties to recognize the exact size of it. Although it works with the products around, it works with the prices and other algorithms. It's a little bit difficult. But however, 94% is the standard for that category. This is the minimum. As I said before, our personal measurement shown us that human shows a result at like 80% of accuracy. And actually he was told that he will be double checked. So I'm not saying he was in a rush. No. So you can understand actually that you can manage the process much better with the technology in any categories that can be recognized. I'm not talking about meat or cheese, of course, and fruits. But with the products, with the labels, you can actually work with the system much better than you used to work with people.
All right. And last question, how do you deal with fraud? For example, taking pictures of incomplete shelves.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's a good question, because normally when you deal with thousands of people in fields, they have a very wide fantasy, and they're very enthusiastic in generating approaches, how to work with the system, let's say. So actually we have some inbuilt checks, like system can understand that the photo is being taken from a monitor of your PC or maybe a brochure, tell this to both user and back office administrators. Also, it can tell you about some mistakes that you do, like too close or too far when you're taking pictures like that. And also there's an example of major fraud. Let's say, let's imagine you're one of 4 players on the market, and you all have fair relative share of 25% to count easier. And your representative takes a picture of first rack of the shelf. So he has to take 4 racks, pictures of 4 racks consequently. So he takes first, second, third, and that's it. He doesn't take picture of the last rack, and he gets 33% straight away automatically, which is a fraud actually. So for this situations or cases, we have a system which we can set for a customer. When we measure the benchmarking visits, system knows each store's category widths or size in terms of number of sales locations, right? That would be main shelf, fridge, main cold shelf, pallets, and so on. And also it measures it in centimeters and photos. So when the guy tries to fraud the system and takes those 3 pictures out of the 4, system actually highlights him that you're missing one shot, probably, dude. So he can say that, okay, that's correct, because I don't know, category shrank, or he's too brave, I don't know. But at the end, this information will be highlighted in the backend reports, and people who work with the Salesforce efficiency KPIs like strike rate, call rate, and others, they will see that these particular guys frauded the system in these particular visits. So they will be able to work with this administratively. That's it.
Thank you very much, Evgeny, for all those for all those answers. That was the last question in the chat. In this case, I would like to thank all our participants for joining us today and for all those questions, as well as speakers for the presentations. Special thanks to our guest Victoria, who took time and shared with us her experience at her company. We will definitely share slides and recording with you via the emails very soon. And of course, you're welcome to contact us in case if you have any questions. And I wish a great evening to everyone.